Hey people, Aman Vesa here. Welcome to the second part of the bot weather tutorial. So now we'll be using API keys. I hope you have made an account on this website. If not, you can just go under the sign in page and register there. So when you sign in eventually, you are gonna have this dashboard and you can have, there's extra information about how to use the API keys and all that stuff. But you can go to your API keys section here and you can create a new key if you do not have that. I already have mine. Just type whatever you want. Let's just type whatever and then you can click generate and it will just work. So we'll be using this API key. I'll just copy it and yeah, okay, here's a Python code. I'll make up a variable to store the key, so we'll just write that. And we'll be using two modules. It's import requests and JSON. So now what are those? So request is a type of module which helps you get information through the website, like through a browser. Like in case if you are on a Wikipedia page, for example, I'll just show that. Why not? Prim's algorithm. Go on. Okay, so if you were on this page and you wanted all this text inside the Python variable for some reason, then you can use the requests module for that. JSON is a type of file format. So just like you have .jpeg or .gif, if you might have heard about that, yes, it's pronounced GIF, not GIF. You could have a txt file or you could have a Python file and so on. The same way, there is a file format known as JSON. So it's a we'll just see how the JSON file format looks for now. We'll also be creating a URL which will need to we have to visit a site. So in order to visit a site you need a URL. So we have the URL right here. I'll make sure to drop it in the description below so you can use it too. And then we need the app ID, and app ID is just our API key. So what I'll do is I'll cut this and put it here, and our app ID is our API key, so we'll just convert it into an F string in case if you ever had to change your API key for some reason, then you can have that. It's app ID, yes, okay. And then there's the query which we will need. So it's for finding, it's for like searching out what city name or whatever stuff you want. So here's that. Now we'll find a city name. For now I am sticking to Ahmedabad because that's where I belong to, and that's the city name, and the full URL would be URL plus city name. Okay, so now you might be thinking, why not just take Ahmedabad from here, cut it and just paste it here. Yeah, I'm not doing that because there may come a time when you need to get the city name from the user. So you can just change this to an input statement and get it from the user if you want. But in my case, we will not be doing that. We can just, it's just easier in production. Okay. So now we'll be using request. So I'll make up a new variable known as respond, if we could spell it right. Respond equals request dot get, and then we'll just use the full URL as a parameter. So what this will do is it will use this URL to go on the website and get the entire page of the website. Okay, we shall print the respond. It's just to see if it worked or not. If we get a 404 error, that means it did not work. Hopefully we get a 200 error, and yes, response 200. Oh sorry, not error, the code that we want. In case if we misspelled it to something else like Ahmedabad to Ahmedabadi, and we just run it, oh oops, okay, and then we just run it and we might get a response 404 or yeah. So make sure you spell your city name right, and we'll just go on. Now we need to, now we'll make a new variable named site details or whatever, or we could just make x, why not, x equals respond dot json. So what this j.json line does is it will just take the entire response and convert it into a JSON file, and this is what a JSON file looks like. I'll just print out the X for you, and this is our JSON file, which is quite similar to what we saw in the previous video. Actually, you know what? Let's just run this API in the browser and we'll just compare. And it was and q equals Ahmedabad. Oh, city not found. Ha, guess what? I misspelled Ahmedabad. And always just copy. And done. And yeah, this is what we get. So we have the coordinates. We'll actually check it turn by turn. So I have this extension in my Brave browser. It's called a JSON formatter. You can get it for yourself if you want to. So this is our entire JSON, okay, and there are 13 items in the JSON, and this is technically called a dictionary in Python. So now we have this entire file. It's the same as this. It starts with this and ends with this another curly bracket. It's the same here. So what's the information that we need? So there's the coordinates here. Latitude and longitude. If you want that, you can take it, but it's pretty useless. Under the weather, there is a description. So it's like the description that you see on Google weather, like heavy rainfall, light showers with a chance of lightning and all that stuff. So that is our description, and this seems like a really good thing to grab to. So we'll just grab that first. So how do you grab it? Okay, so it's inside X, and then it's inside the dictionary file weather. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It's inside the main file, and then it is inside weather. So we'll just take the name weather, if I could copy. Yes, and we'll just print that out and see what's inside it. So it's ID main clouds description, which is the same as ID main description and all that stuff. So now it's inside the weather. Now pay attention, this is a list. Remember those square brackets that we used to make in the Python? This is like a list and so on. So this is a list. Now this also happens to be a list with zero, like just one element. So it has an index of 0. So we just need the first element, which is itself. And now we are back into the dictionary thing, and then we can get the description from here. And if this does not make sense to you, that's completely fine. We'll be refining the code later on. And save and description. So we have broken clouds. That's good. We could make it more pretty by saying there will be, we'll just put a comma here. I hope I don't get an error. There will be broken clouds. Yes, that works perfectly. Now it would make more sense to store this value into a variable named description, so we don't have to write it again and again. Description, if that is spelled right. And yeah, okay, fine. If I misspelled that, that's completely fine. Now we need something else. So we need main. So what's inside main? So we have temperature. We have a fields like temperature. We have a maximum and minimum temperature, which happens to be the same. That's weird. And then there's humidity in percentages. Then there's the wind speed if we want. And then there's clouds. And clouds is all for some reason. I don't know what that means. There's also the extra information known as when it will sunrise in this country, which is India currently. When will it sunrise or when will it sunset? It's just the Unix time. We won't be touching that. Let's get the weather stuff. So it's inside X, our entire directory, inside main. Okay, remember it's inside main. So we'll be printing X, and it's inside main. So let's see. Let's just stop printing this for a while. Yeah, so we have temperature. It's in Kelvin. We can change that pretty quickly. Let's make up a current temp equals int, and we'll just grab X main and also temperature inside it. Okay, and that should work. We shall print out current temperature, and let's take this here. So temp is not defined. Oh yes, okay, we have to make sure it's inside string. Python really does not like that when you mess with string objects. Okay, so it's 302, and obviously we'll have to subtract the value. Well, it's 273.15. That's the 0 centigrade value in Kelvin. And let's just remove int from here to make sure that we get decimal points. So yeah, it's 29 degrees centigrade. That's quite pleasant weather right now in Ahmedabad. So we have the pressure and humidity. Let's grab humidity, and you can get whatever you want. Like, it's totally up to you what information you want to use. So we'll get it's inside main and humidity. Don't forget the quotes. Okay, and we'll just print humidity with a misspell. Okay, so the humidity is 94% and the temperature is this. Now obviously you could add up strings and you could just say that current temperature is this, and you could just add a comma here and here, and it will just look pretty if you want it to look like that, or you could just leave it like that. What you do with the information from this main API response is totally up to you. So this is the original response. You could take up the sunrise and sunset time, and you could maybe somehow convert it back from Unix time to normal time. That's homework for you if you want. But this is pretty much it for using the weather API. And now there are lots and lots of different kinds of APIs. There are APIs for finding out the current statistics of coronavirus, and just in general, APIs are awesome. So once you get a knack for this, once you get the know-how of how to use this, you can pretty much do anything. Let's before we end, let's just see the temperature for Amreli. Sure, why not? And right now I'm in Amreli, so it's 82% humidity and the current temperature is 28.02. Yeah, good to know. So any questions, comments, whatever it is, drop it down in the comments, and I'll make sure to drop down the links in the description. And have a good day. Thank you.